But the Judicial Performance Commission, when meeting with them, and I met with them a bunch of times before we ever did this, and if you notice in there, he said, you know, I fully cooperated with him, and I did.
Right, it did. It said fully cooperated. I met with him, and we talked,
and
it said, you know, too, that there had never been a question on any of your dealings with the courts. All your careers.
Never had a complaint filed with the Judicial Performance Commission in the 20 plus years I've been on the bench. It's the only time I've ever done it. But what I did wrong was I ordered them to make payments into the drug fund. And the Supreme Court says I did not have authority, to order payments into the drug fund. Well, I disagree with them. There's a specific statute that says the municipal judge has the authority to sentence somebody on a crime and suspend that sentence and place them on probation under whatever conditions he deems appropriate. Yeah.
Which it could be like cleaning the streets.
Cleaning the streets, or, you know, and
working at cleaning the jail, anything like that, I guess.
It could be, yeah, anything like that. And I get, and probably if I had done something like that, they would have said it's okay.
No, probably not.
But my problem with the Supreme Court is they don't even address that statute that gives me the authority to do that. I mean, you know, when I got the opinion, I thought, you know, it was going to say, well, that statute you quoted, you interpreted it wrong. That's not what it means. It means cleaning up the jail or something like that. It doesn't mean it. They just don't even mention it. Just don't mention it at all. I may get in trouble for saying it, but I've been saying for 35 years that the way the Supreme Court operates is they decide how they want to rule on a case, and then they interpret the law the way they want to fit what they want to do. And that's what they do.
I'm sure that's true.
I've been saying that for the 36 years that I've been practicing law. That's what they do, and that's what they did in this case. And
where does this leave you, though, Bruce? What can you do? I don't want to say in retaliation, because that's not the right word, but because I would think, and this is just personal, that this bothers you with your good name.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, I mean, I've known Bruce all of his life. All of his life. We shared a dog that went up the street to see. So you may think I'm a little bit biased, but I'm going to tell you I am. Because when this came out and came in the paper and went on the TV, I know Bruce Smith. And so I was like, something about this is not right. I mean, you know, and then I had gotten into this deal where, you know, you don't tell the truth. You don't. The whole truth is not always told. And so it was interesting to me. But what can you do now?
Nothing.
Well, will they?
I could file and ask for a rehearing, but even if I had a rehearing or a reconsideration, if I had a reconsideration and they reconsidered and said, "Oh, we were wrong. Bruce didn't do anything wrong," wouldn't the publicity is out there? They're not going to put on the news, "Oh, Supreme Court reconsidered and they decided Bruce didn't do it." That is not going to be there. The damage has been done, so there's nothing I can do. A lot of people have asked me if I can ask for reconsideration. I still no. I said, I'm not. I won't say I'm not concerned about the penalty, because I am, but the damage has been done.
I agree.
The damage has been done. It doesn't matter what I do, it's not ever going to be taken away. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to take my licks, and
keep on going. Well, will you go back after this 30 days?
Well, no, because I'm retiring in April.
What about the timing on this? I'm sorry.
I know.
Sorry, but
exactly. That's what I said all along.
I knew you were retiring.
I mean, not only did, you know, the timing that, you know, Barlow gets arrested this week, mine comes out this week, right at the end of March. I'm retiring the end of April. And you know, when I turn, everybody will say, "Well, he retired because I turned my retirement papers in back in November."
Well, I knew you were retiring. Yeah. I knew for the city.
So
you just didn't say anything about it. You're just going out with a bang.
Yeah, going out with a bang.
Going out with a bang. Well, I do think that this is a good example that if you read something in the newspaper, or you might hear it on the internet, or you could see it on McGee News, because I'm not targeting newspapers at all with this, but what you read or hear cannot always be the full truth. And if you question something that happens in our area, and you've known the person or you don't even know the person, you need to learn to follow through and check on things, because if you read this, and it is on our website, it's on our website, you could type in, there's a search engine on MageeNews.com, and it's right under my picture, it says search. You could type in Judge Bruce Smith or Bruce Smith, and it's going to pull up anytime there's an article that he's mentioned in, and you can print this and read it. When I read it, when I got it, and I thought, this is awful. You know, I mean, it's really disturbing. But then as I went into it, and I realized the things.
Yeah, the more you read, the better it gets.
Yes, you got to keep going now. You got to keep going, because when you when it starts, it's like, oh, Bruce, you know. But as you go into it, you see where his argument is in there, and as he said, they didn't even address the statute that really would have taken. Well, I feel like too would have taken care of it. And I think one point that you made in here, or in whatever I read, was that basically you were trying to use a way that would give Mendenhall some money.
Oh, what? And let me correct that. I really wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, see, that's something they'll take one little phrase that you say.
Well, they blew it up.
Then they'll interpret the way they want to. I mean, and I did say what they said, but I'm just talking with them, just like I'm talking, and just saying, this was kind of the procedure we were going through, and this is how it was working, this is what we were doing, and I did say that, but then they took that one little phrase when I said, I could have just not accepted the prosecutor's motion, said call it for trial, and he says I don't have any witnesses, then dismiss it, and nobody gets any money for it.
Right.
And so they interpreted that and said, well, he's saying there that he's admitting that he's just doing this trying to get money for the city of Mendenhall. Well, look, if I wanted to try to get more money for the city of Mendenhall, I could assess everybody that comes through there with a maximum fine. And we don't do that on, I hate to say on anything, but hardly anything. I don't think there's anything that we assess anybody the maximum fine on except a seatbelt violation, and that's $25.
Well, I think you're okay.
But other than that, so if it was just about getting money for the city of Mendenhall, I could do that by assessing everybody the maximum fine on anything that they plead guilty to or I convict them to. That would get more money for the city of Mendenhall. But it really wasn't about getting more money. They misinterpreted that.
Taking it.
They take one little sentence that you say and interpret it the way they want to do it. And there's nothing you can do.
That is so frustrating. I mean, I know that it had to be really disturbing and frustrating to you, because
when you're in Nome, Alaska, and it hits, and there's
and we think you're up there hunting.
You're 10,000 miles away from home, and all this hits on. They call and say, Bruce, you were on TV last night. I mean, that's how I first found out about it.
Really?
Erica sent me a text and said, Daddy,
what'd you do?
Are we going to have to visit you in prison?
Oh, it's not funny at all. It's not funny, because you know what? It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are falsely accused. And the thing is, part of it will be true.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson for all of us to learn, and anything that we deal with is that be sure you go to the next page and that you learn anything that deals with, when you think, oh, this is kind of fishy, it might be fishy. Anything you see. And I hope you'll have a good week, and you'll read the next page. And thank you, Bruce, for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.